break this branch off here quick before I get ticks landing in my hair. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. I've been looking forward to making this video for quite a while, more than I've been looking forward to do just about anything. And you guys have been blowing up my phone ever since I told you that I got it. I actually got this about 2 months ago, and I've been too busy with everything else in life to get it out here at the range. But this is the Ruger American in 7mm PRC. This is the only way that you can get it right now in the Go Wild version. So you get this Go Wild camo, this bronze type Cerakote, and the Go Wild package is kind of like a premium Ruger American, if you will. But it's in the new 7mm PRC that everybody's ranting and raving about. And people are wanting to rant and rave about it because it's an affordable 7mm PRC. Almost everything else out there is very expensive. Where people like you and me, I'm throwing everybody in a bucket there, people like me can't afford all that stuff. But I can afford a Ruger American. I bought this, like I said, 2 months ago. So if it's garbage, it's garbage, and we're going to show on a video. Pay for it by myself. It's not a sponsored video. And I'm going to read you off some of the specs because you're going to want to know. But single stack magazine, 24-inch barrel, holds 3 in the mag. Thread is 5/8 by 24. It does have a threaded barrel. Comes with a factory muzzle brake. They call that finish the burnt bronze Cerakote. The weight is 7.1 pounds. The twist is a 1:8 right hand twist. And yeah, that's about most of the stuff we need to read about. What else does it say? Ergonomic, yeah. 3-lug bolt with a 70-degree throw. So, Ruger American, Go Wild. This is my very first time to the range. On top, I've got a Blackhound Evolve 5-25. Very good glass. Put this glass on here because the goal is to take this thing out to a mile. Very doable. We've done some ballistic chart stuff on the PRC stuff. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. But if you are watching this video within a week or two of this video coming out, you can get 55% off all Blackhound. I've actually been considering buying a bunch of them and just flipping them like used cars because the deal is so good. Right now, if you look below, there'll be a link. Use that link, we'll get you 40% off, and then my code WHOTEEWHO will get you an extra 15% off. That's 55% off of these optics. Whether you need a LPVO, a hunting scope, or a long range thing like this, 55% off. That means you're paying 90 bucks for a $200 scope, or a $1,000 scope you're paying $450 for. Best deal on scopes I've ever seen, and a bunch of you guys have been messaging me about that deal and telling me that you found it, and that's awesome. But right now, if you're watching it within a week of this video coming out, we can get 55% off. Go check that out. But really good piece of glass in this Blackhound Evolve. 25 zoomies on it. Let's go back to the bench. This is my first trip to the range and getting it sighted in, and we're going to see what we think about it. Like I said, this does come with a factory muzzle brake from Ruger. I am going to be running my Banish 30 Gold shusher machine on there. And the blue lights we're using this Precision Hunter stuff. Why? Because it's what I have the most of. It's still not super readily available. You can find it, but you still kind of got to hunt for it. These are 175 grain ELDX Precision Hunters. Let's get this thing sighted in, see what we think about it. Should be pretty cool. Sight in with a laser. All right, so this is a sighting it in and first flings at the range video. So I'm going to show you real quick how I sight stuff in. So I've got 2 cameras running, one on the target, one on me. You see that red laser? I've got a laser bore sighter on the end of the barrel. I've got a full video showing you how to use these in detail if you want to go check that out. But I've got 2 dots on that piece of paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the dot where it says hit. So that's where I want the bow light to hit. We're at 10 yards here. This is how I get on paper and don't waste a bunch of bow lights. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold that red laser on the hit mark, and then I'm going to adjust this scope to where it is hitting the aim dot. But I'm gonna do that quick and I'll be right back. Then we're gonna let one fly and we'll adjust it there as we need to get on paper. Then we're gonna take it back to 100 and get it dead on at 100. But that's how I do my bore sighting. I do it at 10 yards. All right now, so very first fling out of this thing, I didn't adjust the trigger, nothing, just right out of the box. Again, I'm going to aim at the top dot, and we want the hit to be pretty close to the bottom dot. And if it's fairly close, then we'll go back to 100, and we'll go from there. But here's at 10 yards. Let's see where we're at. All right, so pretty high. So I'm going to adjust it from there and take another one here while we're at 10 yards. At 100, we might not even be close to the paper. So now I'm maybe a ½ inch right of where I want it to hit. So I'm going to move it a little bit to the left, and we're going to go back to 100. All right, here we go. Back at 100 yards. The more and more I do this, guys, the more I'm liking to use a bipod and a rear bag, and that's exactly what we're doing today. So let me kind of get this situated how I like it. Then we'll go to sighting it in. I need a table that's higher is really what I need. But you guys know me. I'm too cheap / broke to get me a table. So one day we'll eventually build us a better table. We're ready to go. I guess I could also get a shorter chair. That might be an easier option. I might have one laying around, but enough yapping already for this video. Let's do the 100-yard sighting, and we'll see if it groups here for us. If we get, we'll talk about that when we get to the group. Let's get it sighted in first. It's not worth any count to us if it isn't sighted in, is it? All right, that was a good squeeze. Where are we at? Hey, not too bad from going to 10 to 100. We do a couple clickies on this black hound here, and we'll send another one. That was a good squeeze there. Where are we at? Now we're up and right just a smidge, which it's only about a ½ inch off a bullseye. But you know what? I'm still going to adjust it. I know a bunch of y'all are probably screaming at your screen, no, you got to send 3 and then adjust it. But that's not really how I do it. Let's come back a clicky left, and we'll come down 2 clickies. Nope, now we're dead nuts bullseye. So we're going to give it a minute just to give it the benefit of the doubt of being cool. And we'll be back and do a group, so be right back. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're back to cold barrel. We're going to do a group, see what it does, and hopefully it impresses us. If we get under a 1-inch group, I'll call it acceptable. If we get close to a ½ inch group, I'm going to be amazed and really excited. Let's see what we do. I'm going to do my absolute best here. So that one was a little up and right. One thing that kind of concerns me is there's only one other dude I've seen make a video of this thing, and he's getting like 2-inch groups, but I think it can do better than that. Well guys, those are touching, so I think it does better than 2-inch groups. Let's send to 3rd. Ooh. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. We're gonna let it cool and do another one. We can't end the video on that. Be right back. I don't like that group. You guys know I'm the world's biggest Ruger American fan. And they generally do good. Now there's not 100 different types of factory bullets for 7 PRC yet, so we're kind of working with what we got. But I retorqued everything. Everything's still torqued down. Shouldn't be any problems. So let's try another one. I did try to take out one variable. I tilted my table back a little bit so I didn't have to have those goofy things on the front. Could that have been messing me up? Possibly, I don't know. But I'm gonna zip it and do 3 more flings of this stuff and see how our second group does. Wow. Yeah, so maybe that other dude is right. So far, and I've never said this before, so far, Ruger American 7mm PRC is junk. But let's go measure those groups and see what we think. I'm not happy about that. All right, guys, so here's what we measured. I dialed from here. That was our very first hit. Down here. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Come on, man. Who's the cameraman here? There we go. Very first hit at 100 right there. I dialed to account for that. We got here. Then we hit a bullseye. Or maybe those are vice versa, but whatever. We got on at 100. Then our first group right here started off awesome. 2 touching. That got me very excited. Then guess what? The third one kicked out. 3 flings, we got a 1.6 inch group. Not impressed by any stretch of the imagination. I would actually call that pretty much trash. We then let it cool. I checked for torque on the rings, on the scope, on the rail, on everything. And guess what? Everything was fine. The shusher machine was tight. Everything. And guess what? Even worse. 2.09 inches. So, not real happy about that. All right, guys, so, not real excited about it. I was real excited at the beginning of this video. Told y'all, super excited to get this one out. More excited about this than anything in quite a while. And you guys were too. You've been asking me about it. And like I said, there was one other video out. Thing wasn't grouped for somebody else, and I kind of didn't want to believe it, but there, you saw it on tape. At least with those 175 ELDXs, this is averaging a 1.8 inch group at 100 yards. If I can't get a 0.7, then it kind of goes in the trash pile, especially these days, man. And I have a 7mm PRC that's even cheaper than this Ruger that is averaging 0.4 inch groups. So really, there's no reason for me to even keep this thing around because I would have this as a deer catching rig. Well, with the 2 inch group, I'm not even going to take a shot on a deer 100 yards, much less 200, 300, 400 with 2 inch groups at 100. Oh my goodness, but super bummed out. But if you want to see more on this, we're going to do some more filming. We've got some of the match bullets, which are 180 grainers. You never know till you try. Maybe this thing loves the match and it just doesn't like those 175 grain ELDX. I don't know. My other cheaper one likes both of those, under 1/2 inch groups with both. But stay tuned. We're not throwing in the towel on the Ruger American Go Wild 7mm PRC yet. We may have to eventually if it doesn't impress us. But make sure you're subscribed. Like I said, if you're watching this within a few weeks of this coming out, you can get 55% off these Blackhounds. It's a ridiculous deal. Check out below for more info on that. If you're watching the video old, you can still get 15% off with codes. Look down below for that. But hey, appreciate y'all. It's the video y'all been asking to see. 7mm PRC, Ruger American. I'm kind of speechless, to be quite honest. I normally love these Ruger Americans. Y'all know it. Appreciate y'all. I won't ramble on anymore. Make sure you're subscribed, got notifications on, follow us everywhere. We'll see you on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!